Thank you again, friends, for joining us for the launch of The Love That Remains. There has been, as you probably felt when you came today, a lot of love and preparation that went into this launch. And I'll just start by thanking Durga, who really was the only person that could compile and make this book happen. Davey mentioned that at one of our recent satsangs, that this was a legacy book. And what is Master's legacy? It's not an organization. It's not any institution. It's the implanting of that seed of divine love in our hearts. And Durga played a unique role in that interplay of East and West, of going to India with Vidura, and for many years, and I know many of you were part of those pilgrimages, that really helped build that bridge between East and West. I was actually, my first pilgrimage to India was with Durga and Vidura, and I'm deeply grateful to them both. And I'll never forget, I think we were the last, Durga can correct me, we were the last pilgrimage to meet Hare Krishna in 2005, before he left the body. And just seeing him, when he turned and he looked at me, I felt a wave of blessing, and there's this, that's what Master said, that you were part of a living link, right, of divine masters. We're not part of a printing press, although we want to sell books. We are part of a divine line of gurus. And that blessing and that connection is through, as Master said, only love can take my place. So thank you, Durga, for being a steward of that love and condensing it into this book, because you will feel it through the stories, through the pictures. I will offer some gratitude to two great souls that aren't here. My wife, who sends her love, and she was part of the making of it, and Madhavi, who is a sort of an unsung hero of crystal clarity, who laid out the entire book. Now, Durga's inspiration couldn't have been without the grounding rod of Nefertiti. And whereas the Shakti that was pouring through Durga, the book was swelling. 100 pages, 200 pages. We just kept going. And I said, Durga, could we rein it in? That's when I said Nefertiti. So Nefertiti helped really keep it on track and focused and inspired. And I know that she felt blessed. The instrument is blessed by that which flows through it. I know she felt a tremendous blessing to be able to work with Durga to help manifest this book. And so we're a family, and it's going to be family style. And that is, they're going to have a conversation, and we're going to be part of it. We're all having a conversation. And if my wife was here, she would say, put the mic down. So that's what I'm going to do. And I want to thank all of you again for being here, because it's the receptivity of your hearts that really will bring this book to life. So without further ado, Durga.
So anyway, thank you all so much for coming. What a beautiful family, beautiful faces here. I just wanted to say a few words before Nefertiti starts questioning me about things. And basically, I wanted to thank especially some very important people that made this book possible. 3 of them are over there on that, not them on the table, but their pictures on the table. And I think they were also shown in the slideshow. So Manoj Mukherjee, who's Devi and Hashi's son, Ishan Ghosh, who is Mira's grandson, and her parents, Durlov and Bubu. And then we have Sukanya and Papia as her mother. And really, when I first realized that this was going to be something other than here's this person and this person. I didn't know what this book was going to be. But when I got the biography from Papia about her father, Hare Krishna, so beautiful. Those of you that have read it know how touching it is. And I thought, oh, wow. Then I got Hare Krishna from her, Hare Krishna, her father, and their daughters. And then Manash wrote about Devi and Hashi, beautiful, beautiful. And then Ishan wrote the chapter about Mira, his grandmother, and his father, himself, and somebody that we never, ever thought to ask. And of course, Mira had a husband, but unless one of you ask her what her husband, who her husband was, tell me about, nobody in our pilgrimage group ever asked her. I don't understand why. So I wrote Ishan, the grandson, I said, Ishan, do you have any stories about your grandfather? He said, yeah, I'll write up something. So that chapter of Ram Krishna, not Ramakrishna, but Ram Krishna, is full of stories of what a saintly man he is. So those were things that just got me going, and I thought, this is really going to be beautiful if I can relay that. So those three families in particular, we wouldn't have the book without that. I first thought I could write a biography, but I didn't know anything. So I asked Indra Devi, and she didn't have the time to do it. And then in meditation, Master said, well, why don't you ask the people that actually know about them? And so I did. And we got these beautiful stories. Also, the people that made this book possible, Barbara Bingham. And if you look at the pictures, especially, and maybe only in the shrine, they're just stunning. Another reason why they're stunning is because of Vyasa. So the story that I'll tell you very short. So we were going over to visit Vyasa and Janaki Devi. Janaki Devi was in her last months, I think, of being here. And Vyasa said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm trying to write this book. And he said, well, is it going to have pictures? And I said, well, probably. And he said, well, I can help you with that. So I think he told Nefertiti or somebody, if I had only known how many pictures I was going to have to edit, I don't know if I would be, but the reason the pictures are so beautiful is because of those two people, just beautiful. And so then, who do we have? You? So the story about Nefertiti is, we were coming home from a trip, and I decided to ride with her in the car. I didn't know her that well, although she says I did, but I don't remember. And she said, so how's the book going?
I did not ask you. I didn't know anything about a book.
See, I can't talk if you can hear.
This is what I have to go through all the time.
So
I have to even edit the conversation.
she said, how's the book coming? Or I said, she said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm trying to write this book. Okay, got it right. And I said, but I asked someone if they would help me edit, and they said, no, I'm not going to do that until the book's finished. And I said, oh, this is going to be really hard. So this was almost 3 years ago. So Nefertiti said, oh, I'll help you do that. I'll work with you every day. I said, oh my God. And she has. I would say maybe not literally, but 4 or 5 times a week. We're on the phone. I'm going over to her house. So she was just a huge, huge help with this book. Plus, she made it shorter, which I didn't really like, but you all will know, if you don't already know, that there's an addendum, which I wanted to be in the book, but since I wasn't allowed to have it in, there's an addendum, which is something like 50 pages. And so if you get the book, you automatically get a link to go on and see the other 50 pages. And the only thing that really I wanted done is I had talked to Ishan about his uncles, his great-uncles' poems. When Master died, he, wait a minute, who died? Somebody died. Somebody died. No, the mother. When their mother died, Ananda wrote poems, and all you think about Ananda is, very intellectual, and he only became a devotee when Master finally gave him Kriya. He finally realized who Master was. But he wrote 5 beautiful poems about their mother. And I said, Ishan, this is the time. We've been wanting to get these. And so they're going to go in the book, but they didn't get in the book, so they're in the addendum. So I wanted to tell you.
One of them is in the book.
One is in the book, the cremation, yeah. Mm-hmm. One is in the book. So anyway, it was a beautiful journey. Who am I missing? Who helped me a lot?
Oh, Surya and
Surya,
Prakash.
Where is Surya? He didn't come.
He was supposed to come. Prakash.
Prakash is right up there, and Prakash was absolutely amazing. And I might tell something that Prakash said, which touched me so much. And another person mentioned this too, that if you don't know India, if you've never been there, if you don't know these people, if you haven't heard of them, you don't know that there's a hole in your heart until you read the book. So how to be honored more than that, I don't know. This book came because Davy Novak, I was in the shrine one day and I thought, we need to tell people more about who these people are. We have a lot. We have beautiful relics. We have a little bit that tells about them, but we need more. And I had 200 or 300 letters from these people because we wrote back and forth once we met them and became friends. And I said, well, I could put some letters in and some photos and just tell a little about them. So I was telling Devi, she said, Durga, who's going to read that? Why don't you write a book? So 7 years later, we have the book. So it's because of Devi. She says it isn't, but it is. Okay, is that my introduction?
Yeah.
And Surya. Surya did all the family trees and all the little trees that are at the beginning of each chapter so you can refer back. And he did...
we had him do the map, the family tree, the map.
Family tree and the
And the
map,
map,
and the
yeah.
map of India. The map of India, I said, I only think, since there's so many cities, let's just put in the capitals of the different states and then where we have centers. So that's all that's in there. And if someone told a story about a certain city, it's in there. Okay, I think that was way over, wasn't it? Okay, so.
I don't have anything to ask you now.
Okay, and also at the end, you can all ask questions, and she'll answer.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm ready.
Again, just happy. Thank you so much, family, for being here with us. So many people to thank. And I want to thank all the people who helped to make this afternoon and this event happen. And thank you, Narayan and Carol.
Mandala,
Mandala.
Shraddha.
So many. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So, but my first question to Durga is, did you think we'd ever get here?
I don't know.
Talk about a long and winding road, right?
Yeah.
And I would like to say also, because it was not easy for Durga. I mean, she had a lot of challenges to contend with, and there were just some days when she would just lay on my couch, saying, I've got to do this, I've got to be able to do this, It reminded me of Swamiji, his battles that he had to go through to get something done. So I just want to give her, can we just give her some love right now? And just give her... Yeah, I know it was not an easy thing, but what a wonderful thing. And I feel blessed just that I was able to take some of this journey with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
It would not be this book. It would be a very different book without her. A very good difference.
So what is it, can you tell us a little bit about what is it you want people to take away with them from having read the book or gone through, what is it you want people to know and be able to hold on to?
I don't, I'll probably answer it, but right off the bat, that thought never occurred to me, really. I was commissioned, not only by Devi, but by Master. I felt Swami there every day, Master every day. Let's do this. Like when many of you were interviewed, which created a whole chapter in the book that I never even thought was going to be there. But when I was trying to get going again after 3 years of not working on it, COVID and my health, I thought, well, I didn't know where to go. And I thought, well, maybe I can interview people. And that was really beautiful. And all of your stories and experiences and how it changed you. So that was beautiful. And it created chapter 5 or 6. No, chapter 5. So what do I want you to get out of it? Just the different things people have said, like I told you, Prakash and someone else, and getting to know the family and getting to know that there is that link. And over again, especially through, I think, Ishan, it created a link of East and West, of devotees here and devotees there, and how we are so connected. So that really, really struck me as being a part of this book, because I don't think I ever sat down and think, why are you writing this? I just wrote it. I don't even think I wrote it. I compiled it, and that's what I have on the cover, because it's so many people's work. But what I could ask you, what did you get from reading it? The love of Master's family? The love of, the love of India? What did you guys get?
Well, they'll get a chance to.
Well, I was going to ask them. I'm not allowed to, that's not on the timesheet.
Right now, it's your
Okay.
time. And then, and see, she will deflect from herself because she doesn't want to talk about herself and all the wonderful things she's done. Well, let me ask you this. What was your favorite part of the book? What did you enjoy the most?
Well, I enjoyed working with Nefertiti. And if you ask me what the most difficult part was, I will tell you. We had quite a journey, but we made it.
I tell people we had a lot of fun fights.
We did.
Because I'm from New York, and it's like, you want a piece of me? we like to have a heated discourse, just to work things out. But yeah, she was the best. Yeah.
We really, really did have fun. The joy of reading about these families, and they're so beautiful. And Ishan, I think it's in the book somewhere, but Ishan said, he calls me Durga Auntie, beloved Durga Auntie. Beloved Durga Auntie, how would anybody know about us if you don't write this book? So that really touched me too. And so it was like, here they are, and they knew, some of them knew Master, or knew his relatives, but how's anybody going to really know that? And some people have the opportunity to go on pilgrimage, but some people don't. And a lot of people think, oh, India, yikes, sickness and poverty and dirt. And so Swami has a beautiful letter, I think it's in the book, I put it in the book, about India is a country of opposites. You will see sadness and you will see great joy. You will see saints and you will see poverty in the streets. And he goes on to explain it. But if you go deeper, if you go for the reason you're on pilgrimage, then you will know India. And India has so much to give. And as Master said, America and India are going to be together to lead this world at some point. So to get to know India is important. So that would be one thing.
I would just say, I just want to say a few things. But for me, what was so visceral, I mean, we go to the shrine all the time. I love the shrine, one of my favorite places. But just to understand the connection of how we got those relics and what it took to get them, you know, the sacrifices of people like Indra Devi and her husband Bajrang, and, you know, what it took to get those things. And then also, the love that remains was the trust that the family gave to us to hold these treasures and maintain these treasures. So you just get this very deep appreciation for this legacy and this journey, and also the responsibility that is inherent for all of us to take care of what has been given to us. So.
There's a beautiful letter in the book by Shefali, Hare Krishna's sister. And when we first started going there, she wouldn't come to meet us. And it was only after a few times, and they went back to her saying, you have to meet these people. So I don't want to get into SRF right now, but it's a big part of why we became so close to them, because, you know, Ananda is so friendly, and we love people, and we honor people. And they all of a sudden, Santoshi can tell you better than anybody, they were honored. They were treated with love. Swamiji, when I first thought about the book, I'm going to no Ananda, no Swamiji. It's just going to be about India. There's no way. He's in it all through the book. Ananda's in it all through the book because we are the link. And Swamiji started it out, and there's sweet stories about Swamiji meeting with Meera for the first time. Meera's the one you'll see, this older woman just glowing. And first thing he said, Ishan said she has a Western appearance, meaning that she had lighter skin. So the first thing Swamiji said, or one that Ishan said is, am I the stranger or are you? Meaning, am I a white person and you're dark, or the other way around? I mean, it was so sweet, and all in Bengali. So when he talked with them, he talked in Bengali. And every time he went there, they would have discussions like that. You can imagine what it meant to the family. And here was a higher up of SRF that was so different. He absolutely won their hearts immediately. And he honored them, and he asked them questions, and like you would do with your family or your best friends, you want to know about them and how are they doing and how I can help later on when Hashi was not doing well the last few months of her life. He found out she needed a railing to get up the steps. She couldn't get up the steps to her room. He would just keep giving her things that would make it easier for her. When the big thing that happened when Meera wrote us, 1997, I believe, she wrote, we had been there a number of times, so we started the pilgrimages in 86 and went probably 6 or 7 times by 97. And Meera wrote, and part of the letter is in the book, and I really didn't know if I should put it in because it's so damning, but every time I asked Master, and then I asked Devi, and then I asked Jyotish, and I had already asked Swami about something else earlier that I didn't want to write. He said, put it in. So when I got the answers, put it in from all of them. So it's basically saying that Meera and her family, so there was Meera, her son, her daughter-in-law, and the baby, all lived in this room, Krishna. It's about the size of Montrini's office. And they all lived there, and it was the garage. Anyway. So Meera wrote and said that they were living in this foul-smelling place. There was no air, et cetera, et cetera. If we can come up with the money, $300 a month, could you help us buy something? well, of course, because of many people, but $15,000 to buy a house, we had it like that. So Vidura has this great story. Vidura and Bajrang went over to India and took traveler's checks or cashier's checks or something. Anyway, they had to get them changed into rupees. So the checks were maybe this high and the rupees were like this high. And they had to, it's a great story, you're going to read it, but how they went to the bank, and the guy who protected the bank was sitting outside on an old chair, and he had a shotgun on his lap, and he was very old, and he was the protector of the bank. So they had, it's a great story. But anyway, they got the money to them, and now they got this flat, and it's airy, and it's bigger, and they love it. And that's where they all live now. Mira is not with us anymore, but the family, I don't know why I told you that. But anyway, Swami was like a breath of fresh air. And when he came, and of course we always follow his lead, you know, what he does, we try to emulate as best that we can. And so we all became friends. We were just friends. We were family. And that's one of the reasons I could write the book, because of all the letters I have, because I'm a good correspondent, and so I would write them all the time, and they'd write back. And then they came to Ananda twice, 1989, for Lahiri's birthday with Shibindu Lahiri, and in 1993 for Master's Centennial, and that's when Roy Eugene Davis came, and different Peggy Dietz and Bob Raymer. And so they all came, and those of you that were here know about it. It was just an incredible week with everyone. What did you ask me?
Well, let me ask you something else.
Okay.
But some of them are going to be able to join us again join us for the centennial.
Yeah.
You want to just say briefly about who that might be? Who's coming?
Of course.
Yeah.
So we put out to the family, the people that have the pictures over there, if they would come and to the centennial. Of course, they all wanted to come, mm-hmm. And none of them have been to America or Ananda. But because of passports and visas and money, I don't think money actually, but the passports and the visa were a real problem. So we're down to 2 people that may come. And Ishan has his interview for a visa tomorrow. So everybody can pray, gets that visa. He's beyond adorable. And then Sukanya is this bright businesswoman and very deep devotee. And her mother was going to come too. She's the one who wrote all the chapters in the first chapter. But she's worried about the trip. She's older. I think she's older like me. She's older, and the long plane ride and the layovers, and it's just a little hard for her. Plus she has to get a passport and a visa. So anyway, I think it'll be Sukanya and Ishan. So put out the energy that they could come. You just will be blown over by them. So devotional and so grateful for Ananda.
So, and the last question before I ask my favorite question. But how can you say how writing this book has changed you? What impact has it had on you as a devotee and as a soul?
I would say appreciating everyone that comes into your life even more. All of you that I know, maybe even some of you that I don't know. Everybody contributes to the whole. And feeling, especially Ishan, he is so devotional. I mean, just beloved auntie. I mean, he's so devotional. And it makes me realize I could do better with that. I could go deeper. I could honor the gurus more. I could more and better, and that's one thing I think I really, really took from all the letters, all the love. the opportunity to go deeper in that way.
Oh, that's a beautiful answer. Okay. And now my
No,
next question.
no. I know what she's going to ask.
So she wouldn't throw the water at me. I wanted to ask her, and she knows the answer, which is why she didn't want to answer. What's next?
She's been on me for, I know, a couple of years now. When are you going to write your book about Swami? When are you going to write articles? You know, once the book is done, you have to have a launch, and then you're going to have to go to the bookstores, and then you're going to have to, you know, I don't know. It went on, and I was tired by that point. And I said, just wait, put it on a shelf. But I did have fun writing notes, if that day ever came. What stories did I have of Swamiji? Or it would be about Swamiji. And probably I did write an article that I think was
She wrote a beautiful article on ananda.org, if you get a chance to look at it. Yeah.
So that would probably be part of the book because it's a lot of my stories. But, you know, I learned so much from him, and I was with him a lot. Vidura and I, as most of you know, were the village managers and general managers. And so in that role, we went around the world with Swamiji. We went to all the colonies every year. We were just with him. We went on vacations with him. We went on the Joy Tours in 1978. And we were just friends, really deep friends. I'll tell you, one of my regrets is not knowing more who he was. Because how do you know who he was? And he was such a friend and confided in us and questioned us about things and had us do things that we wouldn't have done necessarily. But to go as deep as I know now that he is, I think it happened with the book and just after maybe the last years or so. We didn't spend time with him in the very end, but after he died, going into how he related to us and how I could have done better with it. What did he really mean? Did I do what he was saying, or did I put a spin on it because that's the way I wanted it to be? Or he did. I'll tell you one story. When we were writing Shaped by Saints, he was editing it, and there was one part in it where Devi Mukherjee talks about dogs coming at him or something. I can't remember exactly now. And it just sounded weird to me. So I said, I'm going to change this. So I changed it back to what I had. He had changed it. So I changed it back to what I had. And we did that about 3 times. And they said, Durga, I know Devi. This is exactly what he would say. Okay, I gave up. But sometimes it took that much, as she knows. Sometimes, So anyway, that's what I would say.
Okay, so she's going to work on her Swami stories. There's many beautiful books and about that have come out about Swamiji. And that's so many stories that we need to know these stories, right?
And I always feel like I could be more spiritual in the way people write these books and they're so amazing. And then
books, yes.
And Swami even told me one time, I think you could be a little less personal because I have a personal nature. And Durga, one of the aspects of Durga is impersonality. So he's been working with me on that. So all my stories are personal. So I think this isn't going to be as much. It isn't going to be as much fun for people to read this because it's just but if it has a reason, then I can write it. If I learn from it, what I learned from it, or what he meant by just a look that he gave me sometimes, and then I learned from that really fast. So, yeah, in that way, I think it could be entertaining, if nothing else.
So anyway, stand by for that, and we'll have more fun, won't we? All right. So now
Let
we're
me
going
see if
to
there's
shift
any-
gears.
Yeah, go ahead. I just want to see if there's anything
We're going to
I
shift
wanted
gears,
say.
and Durga is going to read from the book, and then after that, we'll do our closing, and then we'll do the signing. Okay. All right. And I'm going to.
Okay, this is.
Wait a minute. I'm going to depart the stage.
You're going to depart. Okay. Well, Nefertiti wanted me to read for 10 minutes, but 10 minutes is a very long time.
Yes, I mean, whatever you feel comfortable with.
So I got to about 8, but it was interesting because I thought of what I should read, Hare Krishna or this or that or the other, like what I should do, but those didn't come through. What came through was a story that Jaya tells, and 2 or 3 stories from Ramakrishna. And if you haven't read the book, I'm sure you've never heard these stories before. It's the first time I had ever heard them. And he's Mira's husband, and he is Ananta's son. Okay? So that puts a little... So first I'll read Jaya's story. This is in the chapter of Hare Krishna and the family. Jaya's story. While visiting Four Garpar Road, and that's, I think everybody knows most. Does everybody know what Four Garpar Road is? If you don't, it's where Master lived. While visiting Four Garpar Road, Jaya spoke with Hare Krishna's son, Somnath, who added more details to the story of Yogananda, asking for his father's help in getting to America. In that meeting with his father, Master said, I predict that the teachings of your guru, Lahiri Mahashaya, are destined to reach devotees in every country in the world from this very living room. That's quote unquote. Yogananda's father, Bhagavati, dismissed it as his son's exuberance for the spiritual life, but Master repeated his prediction from this very living room. Somnath went on to say that during his years in the house, people from every country in the world have visited, validating the fulfillment of Master's prediction. Some visitors brought small brushes with them and collected bits of dust from the corners of the room. They put the dust into containers or envelopes to take home for their altars as both a remembrance and a relic for blessing. Master has fulfilled Babaji's promise. Beautiful. Then this is a picture of Ramakrishna, which, thanks to Vyasa, we can actually see that it's a person. Because in India, things get ruined really quickly with the, what is it called, climate. And so I wouldn't have known who this was without Vyasa. Thank you so much. So I'll just tell you a little bit of his stories. Ramakrishna never pursued gainful employment. His soulful faith in the divine was all he ever relied upon. He was ever joyful, soaring in bliss, and remained untroubled by the absence of a career or employment. He felt that whatever resources he had inherited were sufficient to sustain his family. Mira, his wife, on the other hand, often worried about their dwindling savings. Ramakrishna would assure her that their sustenance was not merely the result of his inheritance, but the providence of Divine Mother. One day, Mira asked him how his meal would be prepared if she did not cook it. Ramakrishna, ever relying on his faith, that's Ishan, requested that his wife refrain from preparing lunch that day. Leaving her in the room, he withdrew to pray. Mira, unable to rely so intensely on her husband's faith, disregarded his request and prepared the meal. As it turned out, she did so in vain. Just before lunchtime, a neighbor came by with a full plate of food, offering it with the words, "A little prasad." The plate had enough food for their entire lunch and more. Many times, without the slightest thought, Ramakrishna gave away precious ornaments to people who claimed to be in need. Once, a man approached him with a tale of extreme difficulty in arranging his daughter's marriage. The man told Ramakrishna that the piece of jewelry Ramakrishna wore on his wrist would be more than enough to take care of everything he needed for his daughter's dowry. Ramakrishna gladly gave him the bracelet and prayed for the success of the marriage. Someone later informed Ramakrishna that the man had never intended to take the jewelry for his daughter's marriage. Instead, he used the money from the sale of the bracelet to bet on the horses. Ramakrishna, not even slightly displeased or angry, he only asked with a smile whether or not the man had won or lost the bet. Materialistic gains and losses meant very little to him. When Ramakrishna received a gift, he felt exalted, no matter what it was. He treated every gift as of equal importance. He always kept his gifts and attached little notes to each one, describing relevant details, the sender's name, the occasion for the gift, the date, etc. Every note he wrote for the gifts ended in the same way. I am extraordinarily pleased to receive this. That's sweet. Then, maybe I won't keep reading about that. I had another really nice story, but you're going to read it. So, this is a letter from Swamiji to Meera. We were all so deeply touched by the holy relics that you sent back with Vidura and Bajrang. Through Krishna was Durlav's sister and Meera's daughter. She would write quite a bit. Through Meera's letter to Durga, and by knowing Master myself, I can understand how difficult it must have been for you to give up these treasures, especially the harmonium that Master bought, played, and later gave to your husband, Gagan, that's Ramakrishna. Vidura told us that tears were streaming down all of your faces as you gave these items to him, and I feel your love through them, and thank you with all my heart. Ananda will be deeply blessed by having them, as we have already been with the other wonderful relics you have given to us. The vibrations in our museum get more and more powerful as each item is installed. So, I don't know if I mentioned you, Indra Devi, so I'm going to mention you now. Indra Devi, most of what's in the relics section is because of her years of getting everything just right, the story just right, where it came from, who fixed it, where it was going to go, and she and Dave built the cases that are there now that you see when you go to the Shrine of the Masters. They built those cases and arranged them and rearranged them, and we had a wonderful event once when we were installing some of the relics. And I think Nakula was one of the presenters, and Nitai and Hashi. Everybody carried one of them, and then we installed them in. So we've had some beautiful things to happen, but really because of your amazing history and love of these things and the way you explain them just makes it very magical and very understandable. So thank you very much. So now,
All right,
you want to use mine? I have my own.
well, I'm going to pass this one around. We're going to have time to hear from you guys. We've blabbered enough. This is your turn. So questions and answers, reflections, comments from the audience. Questions for Durga?
Yeah, this is working.
Oh,
so-
there's Giovanni. Okay.
This works. I'll bring it to.
I can talk really loud.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Durga. Thank you, Nefertiti. When the email went out promoting the book to get us to buy it, it had a little excerpt from the book, and I thought, ooh, I think I'll read a little bit. And I started reading, and I kept reading, and I couldn't stop reading. And I think I got up to 125, a lot of the book, and I was so inspired, and I was like, I have to have this book. So for anyone who hasn't gotten the book, you have to have this book. It is so inspiring on so many levels, and I just can't thank you enough.
You're welcome. You got to thank Master and Swami because so many of the inspirations that came in meditation. Oh, why do you do this? Or why do you do this? So I really feel it's their book. Also I made a big omission here, and that's for Santoshi, because Santoshi made this book happen, and I won't say how, but she did. And she is also so close to these families, I think, especially Hashi, and spent years and years and years over there with them. And she wrote the foreword or preface, or what do we call it? Beautiful, sort of outlining, the people. And I got so much inspiration just listening to her and how she loved them, how they loved her. So thank you so much. Surya finally came. Well, we mentioned you and talked about you for a minute, but you'll have to, oh, there you are. You'll have to look at the recording. No, but we know you did. So one thing about Surya, he has a lot of patience, because I would go back time and time. What about changing this little? No, this date is wrong. That family tree probably took as much as anything. And he was so patient with me. So thank you, Surya.
Durga, question here from Josette.
Oh, way over here. Hi, Josette.
Hello. Not so much a question, but to really acknowledge and thank you for the opportunity I've never been to India, and to be able to experience Master through his family in that way really is quite special. So again, I reiterate what Giovanni said. It's a very special book because it's the way I got a chance to attune to Master through his actual family, and to see how through their writing and even just through their pictures, you feel them, you feel Master's love coming through them, and it's very powerful. So I wanted to thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sarana's question.
So also not a question, but a comment is this last summer I went to India with Mantra Devi, and I didn't really know why I was going, but I just knew that I should go. And when I came home, I realized why I had been, because just like Josette is saying, I got a knowledge of who Master was from his country and who the rest of our line of gurus is from their country. And it gave me a sense that now I know really deeply who they are. And I had, when I was there, I had the deepest meditations with our various gurus there. And I believe that this book is going to give that to others. Just like you said, Josette, you really find out who they are because you realize that you just find out who they are.
Okay, good. Thank you. Anybody else?
Ramji.
Durga, in the movie, we had a Master's relative, Sujan Datta. He was playing Master in the first film, Finding Happiness.
Yes.
Did you research his family? Is he listed somewhere?
I didn't.
How is he related to Master?
He's Roma, I think, is his great aunt. Nalini is his great aunt or something. Yeah.
I'd like to thank Durga also for, it really is a masterpiece. And we have literally 2 museums, one at Tulsi Bose's home in India, and of course the Shrine of the Masters here. Could you share us a little bit on how we acquired the home of Tulsi Bose and the acquisition of that home and that museum for Ananda?
Well, a lot of it came from Devi Mukherjee and maybe with Swamiji, because they were very close. And as you'll read in the book, Swami relied on Devi's memory to help him understand some of the books he was writing. And it came upon them, and I don't know details, but I'm sort of putting this into some kind of form that would relate. They discussed what was going to happen to Devi and Hashi's home. So Ram Krishna, see, I'm going to get this all wrong. Anyway, that home is where Hashi grew up, and her father was Harinarayan, and he bought the house. And when you think of house, you think of maybe not this kind of house, but think about your own house. This is not at all what it was. It was very poor, in a poor part of Calcutta. And in Calcutta, when it rains, it gets up to this high in water. So the streets are flooded, the houses are flooded, and this house was flooded many times, which leaves, it's, anyway. So it wasn't that large. It was downstairs, 2 or 3 rooms, and then there was a few rooms upstairs. But it was special because Hashi's family lived there, and they have a meditation room filled with relics. They have Babaji's trident. They had Sri Teswar's conch. They had, Ramakrishna, Vivekananda's things. Ananda Moima meditated there. That meditation room was full of vibrations of saints. And so Swami would talk to Devi, how is this going to go forward? Now, SRF wanted to buy it really badly, and so did we. So in the book, it explains that Devi, even though he stayed connected with SRF, he was very close to Dayamata, so he stayed connected with both, but he felt that Swamiji's way of spreading the teachings and drawing people to Master was how he would want to do it. And so after many discussions, and also those of you who know Cecilia from Italy, she was major involved in getting all the papers drawn up of how they could buy it, and probably the money too. And so it came to be, and there's a lovely story in there, I think Aditya tells, you'll read it, about her in her dying state had to go and get these papers signed, and it's quite beautiful. So SRF had been trying to buy it, we had been offering money, they've been offering money, but Manash said we wanted Ananda to have it. And so they even doubled their amount, but we still wanted Ananda to have it. So it was very blessed. And so Hashi was there signing these papers. Devi had already passed. And Aditya and some of the other monks and maybe other people in India were there. And Aditya said it was just so beautiful because she was signing it and she knew that SRF also wanted to buy it. But she looked up at Aditya and said, these are also very good people. So that story's in there. But did that answer your question, Ram? Sometimes I get off on it.
Everyone to understand, because not many of us knew that we acquired.
Yes, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned it too, that now it's called the Tulsi Bose, her father, Tulsi Bose shrine. And so they've remodeled it, painted it, fixed the rooms up. But there's some very beautiful one. Another thing that's beautiful is a painting painted by her father that had a vision of Krishna, and that's in there. And it's still there. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's the center now of Ananda, at the center of Calcutta. That's where they go. And Manash is very involved, or he is involved. I don't know if very involved because they have some beautiful other people, but he's involved, and he'll come when pilgrimages go, and he'll tell stories. And he has a beautiful wife. There's pictures of all these people over there. Yeah.
Okay, I think anybody else have a last burning question? Else we'll wrap it up, and we'll get Narayan to come back up and do the blessing.
Also, there's lots of food. So please eat delicious food. And I think Birgit made a cake, but I'm not sure. Brigitte made a beautiful cake. Thank you so much. And a lot of other people brought food and plates of fruits and vegetables and cookies and brownies and everything you'd ever want. So, and cheese and crackers. So anyway, please eat to your heart's content. And while you're eating, other people can come up and I'll sign books up here. If you want to take one to a friend, that's fine. I could sign other books, but be sure you pay for them because Narayan will be there.
Yeah. No, take a book. Take a book, whether you can pay for it or not, because we can settle up later.
That's his way of saying he's going to track you down.
There was a beautiful photo before we close with the blessing. Prem Shanti and Mira. I mean, there's so many beautiful photos, but just this one on page 102. It really.
It's in the slideshow as well.
Oh, it's in the slideshow.
We
It's
can
just a
start
beautiful
the
shot
slideshow.
of Mira with Prem Shanti. There's just such, Swami said, love is bliss in motion. So I'd invite us to be instruments for this love and for our Master's bliss now. Let's close our eyes. Think of the cover that was inspired by Master's blessing of World Brotherhood Communities, the statue we have up on the hill by Polestar, and how Master said that East and West will unite through a national league of hearts, and the world needs your love so that the hearts filled with the darkness of hate can be dispelled by the searchlight of your love. So let us send out this searchlight of love, of bliss, of blessings, of self-realization to all the world now, chanting Om 3 times.
Thank you all again very much for coming. You could start the slideshow again.
One quick thing, people that did get the book today, Durga, we forgot to mention, everyone that purchased it through the website would automatically, and you probably already did, receive the addendum, right, which were these 50 extra
Yes.
pages, photos. But if you bought it from me in person, it was through our phone, and I don't think you're going to automatically get that email addendum. It's digital, so please email me, narayan@crystalclarity.com. Email me so that I can send you that addendum if you don't have it, okay?
What if you bought it at the EL?
Same thing, Ramji. Yeah, email me. Okay, so food. Durga's going to sign books. If you don't have a book, grab a book from anywhere and come see me.